Hi, my name is Bobby Giddha. I'm one of the owners of Volcanic Hills Winery in West Kelowna, BC. Winery now is just over 3 years old. Basically, I got my start when I was young, growing up in the vineyards and apple orchards with my dad. Just goofing off, playing around in the apples, and as we got older, we started helping out. Never really picked apples, but helped manage the people. Helped manage the people during the cherry harvest as well. Same thing with the grape harvest. Once during school, we went to school 5 days a week. In elementary school, and then weekends we've always helped my dad. When I was younger, I always changed the irrigation, both in the vineyard and apple orchards. It's kind of where I really got started, I guess. As I got older, in about high school or so, my family built a winery, and basically my goal at that time was to go run it. And before I got that opportunity, my dad said, well, you're going to need to get a college education, and then you're going to have to go get a job. So after I graduated from high school, I went to Okanagan College just here in Kelowna. Did my 4 years of business admin. Graduated in 2003. And then in 2003, I also joined the college in the finance department for 2 years, and worked there in accounts payable. And during my employment, part of one of the benefits was to you could take courses at the college for a discounted price, and they had winemaking and wine assistant and wine sales. So I did both those programs. There was about a year and a half to complete those, and then after I finished those, I did my Simply Accounting. I did first aid, serving it right, food safe, and I did all those just because I knew where I was going to go. I was going to go run a winery. So during my 4 years of college, that was in my mind. Okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go run a winery. What do I need to do that? So by having that in my mind, I took hospitality courses, HR courses, accounting courses, restaurant courses, just in case we're going to open a restaurant. I did everything that I could possibly do in college to prepare me for this role here. And then after I started working, same thing. I wanted to get the education to go run a winery. What I wanted to do is I want to be able to say that I've done it. I know what you're going through, but you can do it. So if I can say, yeah, I've pressed, I've crushed, I've done all the roles in this business, and someone can't say to me, you've never done it, you don't understand, but I do, and that's kind of where working for a family business, with my father and my grandparents, I learned a lot just working with them. And then when I went to work at the college, it's a union, so I got to experience how a union would work. It's a complex entity, a union. Hopefully we never see it at the winery, but I understand how it works. The hierarchy of the people there, which is good and bad, depending on how you look at it. My father and my grandfather, both individuals are really hard workers, and that's something that you can't learn. You just have to have a passion for. And just watching my dad and my grandfather work day in, day out, it's inspiring. To find a job that you can do every day, and you want to go to work. Everyone strives to find that job. I'm lucky enough that I knew what I wanted to do early on, and I strive to get that goal. I think the best value that my dad taught me is, if you don't love the job you're doing, find something else. And I took that to heart, and I've found the job that I want to do. And the best part is I get to do it with my family. Being in a family business, I like working with my brother and my sister. What can be better? I don't have any regrets. Just because I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew how to get there. And thankfully I had my father and my mother looking after me along the way to get me there. So no regrets. Happy where I am now, and hopefully I'll continue to be in this role for as long as I'm old and gray. Now that the winery will be 3 years old in May, basically the next step for the family business is to get the restaurant in operation. We spent the last 2.5 years trying to get our liquor license. Now that we got it in October, so now that we have it, we're going to start with 40 seats on the patio. The patio can seat about 100 people, and then we have an indoor space that can seat another 40. So because we don't have any experience in the restaurant business, we're going to start slow and build up from there. So we're going to start with 40 people, it's going to be East Indian cuisine. Nothing too fancy, just a couple of samosa, maybe a butter chicken dish or something, maybe some rasman chawal or something, we'll see. Haven't decided on what we're going to do yet, but that's where we're going to go next. Restaurant, it's a hard business, and that's why we're going to take our time. We're not going to rush into it. We've got lots of room to grow in the restaurant. To do 140 seats, that's bigger than most restaurants out there. So one step at a time. With the restaurant business, word of mouth is key, and I think that's why we did so well in the winery is word of mouth. The product that we are producing, the service that we are providing, and the value that we were giving is what really put us on top. And to get the same thing in the restaurant, we have to take our time, one step at a time. The restaurant, I see myself, I see about a two-year process to really get to the 140 seats. Once we get the restaurant and operational and that's done, I think the next step is probably going to be a wine club. That would probably be 3 or 4 years down the road. Right now I got the winery running the way I want it to. So now I'll venture it into the restaurant business and see how that goes. So when I left the college to go work at the winery full time, one of my bosses said, you're going to be your own boss, and you get to decide which 12 hours of the day you want to work. I looked at her and I thought she was joking. But when I got to the winery, I saw what she meant. What 12 hours do you want to work? As an entrepreneur and as a young business person, you have to work those 12 hours at least to get the business going. It's important to get the business going because your heart and soul and all your money is in this business. But family time is important too. I try to spend as much time as I can with my wife and my brother and my sister, and luckily they're at the winery too, so they don't miss me too much. But they say sometimes I work too much that sometimes I'm in one spot and 2 seconds later I'm over there, or I'm downstairs, or I'm outside. I keep myself busy. So the nice thing about working with your family is they're always here with you, so hopefully they don't miss you. But they tell me, sometimes, I'm in one spot and then 2 minutes later I'm downstairs or I'm outside and it's hard to track me down. Especially for lunch, my wife says she needs to tie me to a chair just so I get to spend time with her eating. Sometimes during the day, I have lunch at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I've had lunch at 4. It's just the nature of the business. There's things that always come up and that have to be dealt with. And I think my father said it right. If you're gonna do a job, make sure you do it right. That's what I try to do. For all the entrepreneurs out there and people that are thinking to start their own business, I think the best thing you can do is make sure you have family support. your family does so much for you. You know, they help you raise you, and you know, they're going to help you get through the tough times ahead for this new business. You know, it may not be cash, you know, it may just be being there for you, talking to you, walking you through it, through your problems. You know, there's going to be problems, there's going to be money problems, but as long as you have your family there, you can never go wrong. मेरा नाम बॉबी गिद्धा है, मैं मालक का वॉल्केनिक हिल्स वाइनरी दी। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਦੇਸੀ क्लोज लुक।